both say 3, 2, 1, right?
Alright, ready?
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the BS podcast. BS doesn't mean bullshit, you cheeky devils.
It means brother and sister.
Hey Will, what does the BS podcast mean to you?
Well, we're going to talk about all kinds of funny things. Life and from our perspectives.
Yes.
So we're very interesting people.
Yeah.
And yeah, that just like lots of little life topics, and like each episode we're gonna like have like different kind of things to talk about.
Yeah.
Our next one is gonna be introverts, because we're both introverts. We like being alone, although people are cool too. But
and how it's okay to be an introvert. But
exactly.
Yeah. So each episode we're gonna cover a different topic of what's going on in our lives. So I mean, obviously there's a hell of a lot going on in the world at the moment. So today's topic is going to be isolation and how we got through that.
Yeah, because lots of funny things.
Yeah. So tune in every month. It's going to be a wild time. We'll catch you on the flip.
Yeah.
So this episode, being our pilot episode, hence the hats and the aviators, we thought that we would do a little segment called Flex in 30 Secs. So what we want to celebrate... Yes, seconds.
Not the other one.
Well. What we want to celebrate today and talk about a little bit is how important it is to talk about how cool you are. I feel like enough people, or too many people in this world, are just like, oh, I'm embarrassed to talk about why I'm so fantastic.
Yeah, like, and it seems like you're kind of afraid to brag too, but I think it's a good thing, because like, you know, it's fun, like telling people like the fun stuff that goes on in your life, and then they can be grateful for you. Like if I have a friend and they tell me like some cool shit that's going on, they'll be like, fuck yeah, that's sick.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So don't be embarrassed about talking about how cool shit's going.
You should just love yourself and be your own fucking cheerleader, because sometimes people aren't going to do it for you, so you got to do it for yourself.
Yeah. Before we start, we also want to hear all the rad things that you guys have done too.
Yes, flex to us in the comments. We want to hear you flex.
Yeah.
Amazing. Are you going first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Cool.
Okay.
Ready, set, go. I'm
in 2 bands, My Safe Word Is Murder and Lazy Lips. They're really cool. I played St. Kilda Fest with My Safe Word Is Murder. That was very cool. I work in a audio company, and we do like stuff like Festival Hall and like all like the big stuff. I've got to stand at Festival Hall and I forgot the other name of the other one.
10 seconds.
Oh shit! And when no one was there, like by myself, it was very cool. And I'm making an album.
Yes, with 3 seconds to spare.
Oh, nice.
High five for all your cool shit.
Woo!
Oh yeah.
I think alright, your turn.
Alrighty.
1, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, I'm a musician who got a scholarship to study at Berklee in Boston for their summer program. Nice. And one of my tutors wrote Hakuna Matata, which is like the coolest thing ever. I've also recorded in studios in Boston and Nashville, and played with some pretty cool people. I also lost 40 kilos in like 4 years, and now own my own women's gym, and own my own business, and I haven't ever done a uni degree about it. Boom!
Oh, 2 seconds to spare.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Oh, good job.
Yay! So that is us.
So this one, we're gonna ask each other some questions, and we both have to answer the questions that we ask. So I'm gonna ask Mick what her weirdest date experience was, and I have to answer the same question as well. Go.
My weirdest date experience?
Yeah, date experience.
Alright, weirdest date experience. So I went on a date pre-isolation. And I don't know if I should give you guys a backstory or context. In conclusion, so I took my dog on a date, and this guy brought his dogs on a date, and it was lovely. We're out in the park in the sunshine. It was fine. Anyway, this guy went to throw a dog toy and dislocated his shoulder. Now, people who know me, not many people probably watching this will know me, but I'm a big fainter. So I faint if I have needles, if it's too hot, if anyone's telling me a story about being in hospital, I pass out. So I'm sitting there like, oh my God. And he just turns around and he's like, Michaela, I dislocated my shoulder. I was like, oh my God. So I'm the hero of this story, had to put it back into place after never doing that in my entire life. And we just like hung out for another hour and a half, like playing with our dogs and talking and stuff. It was lovely. There you go. What about you?
I had a pretty funny one. I went on a date in Melbourne. This Tinder lady, she was very nice, and I bought us some Chinese food. I went and sat in the park, and we kind of had a plan to like go to some indie shops afterwards. and it was a long walk between like the park and the indie shops. So we started walking to the indie shops, and we're halfway, or more than halfway there, and I realized I left my phone on the seat. I was like, oh, this is kind of awkward, but I think I left my phone like at the park. And she's like, oh, that's all good. And so we both walked up there, and while that was happening, I got a call from the police, and I was like, oh, geez, this does not look good. And so I answered the phone, and they're like, this is Will Payne, and they're like, we have your wallet, and they're like, come to this place. And so we went around to the place, and there was no one there. There was a security guard there, but he was like telling us the wrong stuff. He's like, no, this isn't the right place. Anyway, so we went around the front. It was just at Parliament House, and there was a protest going on at the same time. And I was like, hey, I got a phone from the police, and like they said that anyway, we walked around, we went to this police station nearby, and it wasn't there, and I tried to tell them that that wasn't the right place they were talking about. And we went to this really cool, like, the back of, like, the Parliament thing, it's, like, all secure and stuff, and they, like, let us through, and it was, like, all, like, top secret and shit. And there was, like, there was another thing where the next stage, you'd, like, go through this, like, metal detector, and it was all, like, fancy and stuff, but we didn't get to go through that. And the guy, like, threw me the wallet, and he's like, thanks, you usually have to pay for this, but I'm gonna let you off today. And it was very awkward, and but I had a good chat with the police officers, and it was a funny story for the date. It was a funny thing to talk about, so it was a little bit entertaining.
Did you get a second date?
No, we didn't go. Oh, I know. Actually, that's not true. Yes, we did.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good job, but not a third, obviously.
Yeah.
No. So my question for you, because I'm quite curious, I want to know what it was like to have me as a sister growing up.
It was interesting. There's a few things. Well, it was good. She taught me lots about like life, and actually, I was a very quiet. I would say I was a pretty quiet boy in year 7, and then like he taught me social skills and how to be normal around people, and just like lots of like just good like perspectives from like a girl too. I think that's cool if you're close to your sister. Like you can like get I don't know, girls' takes on things and stuff. You're also kind of rude sometimes, and
I had to make sure you had thick skin.
Yes, which you did a very good job at that, right?
Having you as a brother was pretty cool.
Oh, thank you.
Will is like the kindest person ever, and I say this to all of my friends. Like he is just the best. Me, however, being a little bit of a strong-willed person, can sometimes use that to his disadvantage. There have been a few times, like, bless his soul, a lot of the time I'll be sitting in bed or something and I have to put my phone on charge and I'll be sitting there and I just, well,
so annoying.
What? Can you just come here for a second?
Usually what you have to do is you got to turn the TV up just a little bit louder, and that sometimes...
Yeah, and then I scream at him to turn it down. But then he'll come into my room and I'll be like, can you put my phone on charge? Oh, fine. He does it all for me. It's great. There are also a few times he was very easy to convince things growing up. So we used to watch Spy Kids together all the time. And obviously, like, we were the brother and sister from Spy Kids afterwards, and we'd play, and it'd be like, oh, I was the chick and he was the guy. And we'd, like, you know, defeat the evils of the world and shit together. For like a solid year and a half, I had this wardrobe.
I wouldn't go that far. I think it was a few months because I discovered the button and the door didn't work and turned into a magical thing.
So I had a wardrobe with like obviously handles, and one of the handles had come off, and where the handle came off, there's like a circle with like another hole in it. Anyway, I had this kid convinced that I used to press the button in the middle, like the hole where the handle fell off. And then I would go through my wardrobe, and it would become this like spy place. Yeah, like it was where I was defeating the evils of the world by myself, because I was a lot better at doing it alone, apparently. So for ages, and he'd be like, "Can I look?" No, you can't look. Only special people can look. Yeah. And he believed me. I don't even remember how you figured it out.
I think I just tried to do it one day. I might have snuck in or something and didn't work, and I realised. We should actually just tell you about the Paranormal Activity story. When the first Paranormal Activity movie came out, Jesus, this is so rude. I was, I don't know, this is my first horror movie, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we're now big horror movie buffs, so if you have any recommendations for good movies, put them in the comments, because we love them. And
one time, you were in the toilet, and I was walking past we have like a hallway, and there's like one of the rooms, like a toilet room, whatever. I was walking past, and you were such a shit. You were like, I will kill him in his sleep.
So he's just, I heard his little footsteps toddling down the hallway. And I was like, oh, let's have some fun now. And so I was like, yes, I will kill him.
Freaky.
And he was like,
traumatized I was.
Mick? And I was like, while he is sleeping, Mick,
Yeah.
you okay? I was fine. Whatever.
It was
Stood up, flushed the toilet, stood at the end of the hallway, and he's just standing there looking at
You
me.
tried to do that weird possessed thing. I remember you were like trying to like.
I had long
And you're
hair,
like,
you put
yeah.
the hair over your face, and I just stood at the end of the
Yeah.
hallway. And then he was standing there, and I ran towards him, and he started crying.
It was freaking me out. Just imagine
was
that.
hilarious.
Imagine the fucking possessed person. It was like The Grudge.
It was
It was kind of
the-
like that. Actually,
Yeah.
I watched that.
So,
That was freaky too.
So yeah, that's apparently what it was like growing
That was-
up with
yeah,
me.
that
But
was-
he was a great kid, and he's grown up to an even better
So
person.
are you,
and
man.
yeah, warm and
We're
fuzzies.
both alpha as hell.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
another thing. Be your own cheerleader, but also tell the people you love how much you love them.
Yes.
Because it's super important to
Yeah.
be doing that all the time. As you guys are living through with us as well, the world is a crazy place at
It
the
is.
moment. It is quite, a lot of people are going through lots of different things, and mental things, and physical things, and job loss, and all the things are happening right now. All the things. So yeah, we're just going to cover a few things about isolation. I know that through the first lockdown, Wilsey went through some stuff, which we've been really lucky to have each other
Yeah.
through all this, and like our family at home and stuff. So first of all, and I'm assuming you too, I just
Yeah.
want to send my love to everyone, because I know that it's a
Yeah.
hard time. So we're going to just have a chat about some motivation. So tell me about what
Yeah.
happened to you in the first lockdown, Wilsey.
Well, it was weird when it first happened because I was pretty busy before that, and then I was like, I remember when we went on a walk, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a sick holiday, like a couple of weeks off, you beauty. And
So
then,
could I just pause and make a note on that? So
Yeah.
I had to move my whole business from face to face to online, and I was like, Will, I really need your help. Can you help video some exercises for me? And he goes, nah, this is my holiday too.
Yeah,
What are you
exactly.
talking about? There's a global pandemic going on, and he's worried about not getting to sleep in.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, I just assumed it was just gonna be like a couple of week thing, and we didn't know how long it was gonna be. I thought it was just gonna be like a chill thing, But it wasn't at all. But it was weird. I think it was like a week in, because I wasn't it was weird. I kind of set up a brief thing, but I kind of set all this stuff for what I should do during the day, but I didn't really set times. I was like, all right, today I have to get all of this done. And I just would kind of save it until 2 hours before I go to sleep. I'd do nothing all day, procrastinate. Social networking was very bad. I wasn't even doing it. Wasn't even fun looking through shit. I was just watching trash.
And we'll touch on that.
Yes, and watching so many goddamn car videos. I need to stop. I still do that now, but it's a bit more moderate. But yeah, just doing trash, and then also just it's weird when you don't do something for a long time. You kind of think it's more that you don't think you'll be able to do it because you haven't done it for a long time. And then and I was talking to you about it because I think I went in the gym and you were doing gym things. I'm not really sure. I just kind of walked in. I was like, look, my life's a mess.
And I
was
think
like, yeah.
from another person's perspective, we obviously live in the same household, and Will and I are really close, and me seeing him, he'd be like, yeah, I'll come to the gym with you in the morning, because I go and train every day, and he just wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I was like, whatever. And it was really frustrating for me. I mean, he's going through this crisis, whatever it was, and I was like, what are you doing? You're staying up till 3 a.m, you're sleeping in till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're not doing anything, you're being a lazy hack, what's going on, you're not helping me, blah, blah, blah. And I think, it was so important that moment. I remember you sat down, or we were going for a walk or something, and you were like, Mick, I'm really struggling. And I was like, okay, let's go into defense mode, let's fix this. But yeah, I mean, that would have been hard, and I think that it's really important to talk about it with someone. And
I think it's weird to trying to. I think I've learned now trying to stop, trying to realize before it gets that bad. I think because it got to a point where I was like, this sucks, but kind of picking up on that before it kind of gets really bad. But yeah, I'm glad it was a bit of a wake up call.
Well, I'd
And,
never seen you that down in the dumps before.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah, I guess I never, and talking about it too is really good. It's the same thing, talking about your problems, because I never really, it's meh.
Yeah.
I was really lazy about it before, but yeah, it was very good
Yeah. So I guess that I kicked into motivation personal trainer mode, which is kind of my job. So what we're going to cover today is a little plan. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to stay motivated, try and keep your mental health as healthy as possible and flourishing. And coming from someone who was never into any of this shit, how he thinks it helped him, I guess.
Yeah.
Because there's me who lives and breathes this every day, and you know, gets up and trains, and this is just something that I've worked into my life, whereas it's kind of a new thing for you.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because when I got out of high school, I was like kind of, I guess, like pretty into like the self-help stuff, but I think the problem was I tried to do it all like too quickly. I was like, alright, I'm gonna make my life perfect. I'm gonna like, you know, I guess everyone knows what they should do, but trying to do it all at once is like really bad. And I think when we were with you, I was kind of like step by step, like doing, like bringing in new things all the time, which was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the BS podcast tips to motivation. So we sat Will down, first of all, and we talked a lot about goals. So I'm a big goal setter, and not just goals, but smart goals. So I'm talking specific. We're going to be really like timely, making sure that things are getting done. It's not just like, I want to win $1 million.
Yeah.
Cool. How are you going to do that? Well, that's not really a good goal to have. But so I was sat down and wrote down some goals for him. So like, you know, time specific stuff. So I'd sit down at the start of every day and he'd be like, in 2 weeks I want to have lyrics done for this song. Cool. How much time will you need a day to do that? Bought him a diary.
Yeah, that was really good.
True.
We got a diary.
And wrote down like, so from 2 till 2:30 p.m. I'm going to do this thing.
Which is much better. I think doing that like straight away, if you're like coming from nothing, is not so good. Maybe like just try and like bring in a few things, but it was really good for me too. Like when we did the time specific stuff.
Yeah.
To just kind of like do it.
Yeah, and I guess we'll also learn a lot about patience.
Yes. Yeah, that's another big thing too. One of my goals is getting a job, because like I think from the start, like the start of Corona, I kind of like stopped my jobs. I had what was I doing? I was a dishy in two places, and I was at an audio company, and that all stopped. And then I got, and then I when we had that thing, I was like, all right, I'm gonna apply for 2 jobs every day. That's what we organised, and I got some jobs. I got work, and I mean, when the second lockdown came in, it stopped again.
Lost it again.
But don't worry, I have a full-time job now, so it's fine.
It starts tomorrow.
But yeah, I think sorry, going back to patience, that's important. You know, when I was applying for all those jobs, and I think it was like a 2-week period of doing that, and like nothing was happening, and I was like kind of ready to give up. I was like, oh, screw this. But then like a couple of days later, when I was like just about to like screw it, then it all like got some jobs.
Fell into place, and that's the thing. Like, being patient with things, because nothing happens overnight. That's a big thing. Another thing that we started doing was just, a tip for me to give you guys is to be active. I know that I'm probably going to harp on about this a lot, but just getting up in the morning, do 5-star jumps, and start off with 5-star jumps. That's it. And then, you know, after a week, do 10. Whatever it is, get a little gym routine, get yourself a coach.
Yeah.
Hey.
McFit, check it out.
McFit
That's
on Instagram.
and as a I don't know, example, I'd be an example, I suppose. That was like the thing, man. Like, I don't know, it's so weird. Like, motivation levels went up, and just general like energy and like inspiration, everything. And I mean, I guess everyone wants to, you know, like look ripped or whatever, but like, although like that was improving, also like just the, like your mental state like is so much better, and you feel like way more like refreshed to start the day and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, me coming from like, I've lost 40 kilos in my time, and the biggest thing that I try and teach my girls and try and teach all of my clients is you will see so much more of a shift mentally, and like, you know, your energy levels are going to be fantastic and all this stuff. If you go into a gym being like, I want to look skinny, or I want to lose weight, it's going to be so much harder. If you focus on the other things like, oh my God, I feel fantastic, I you know, feel so good that I want to eat better, and blah blah blah, all of that stuff, and then the weight loss will come, or the other things will come. If you're focusing on your mental health and stuff, you're going to be that much better off. It's the biggest thing that I've learned through.
I think that's a good point. Like, and I guess enjoying the process too, because like you're like, I don't know, even like making music and stuff, which you do the same as well. It's like you know, I mean, the end product's going to be great, but you're not going to like, your life's not going to be like totally complete, and it's going to suck until you finish that goal. It's like if you're gonna do it, like you have to kind of
You gotta love
try and like enjoy it. I think that was another thing too. Like I started to kind of enjoy working out and listening to like sick tunes. We made a playlist.
Link in description. Another tip.
Yeah.
Big tip for training is have good tunes. Also, it helped in the fact that at the start of it, when we were making goals, I was like, if you don't show up to one of my morning sessions, you owe me $20.
Yes.
I mean, you owe me like $60, but that's fine. But yeah, like that's a cool thing. So far we've got set some goals, get active. We are also going to talk about breathing and meditation a little bit. So this is something that was a little bit hippy dippy for Will, and he was kind of like, I don't know.
I tried it a little bit in the past, like by myself, but I think like, you know, everyone probably has this like trying to like concentrate and stuff. And I think that's harder like by yourself too. Like, trying to, like when you get headphones on, you're like trying to. It's weird.
And I think another thing of going back to the starting off small, start with like a 5-minute meditation. I got YouTube on my TV and we'd come in the morning and we'd listen to a 5-minute motivation video. Doesn't have to be meditation, but it was just something to kind of have your mind ticking and be like, yeah, we could do this. We got this. Joe Rogan has some really good, like 10-minute, 5-minute, So just have a listen to that, get ready. Put your tunes on, have a cold glass of water, wake you up, and just go and smash the day. And then afterwards, so we would start off with that meditation and just kind of being with ourselves and just like, you know, kind of sorting ourselves out. We'd go train, have a killer session, heart rates would be up, we'd be pumping, we'd be sweaty, we'd be tired. And then at the end of the session, I'd put on some classical piano music and we would practice some breathing. So breathing is a really good technique to kind of reset your brain after you've been really hyped. It's really popular in anxiety and things like that as well. It helps you sleep if you're into that as well, if you need some help to fall asleep at night. So basically we just started off by breathing in for 4, holding for 8, breathing out for 4. So just doing that 8 times over, 9 times over, and then 10 times over. You know, you can do it however many you want to. It just really helps. Close your eyes, lie on your back, and just breathe. It's that simple. Got to the point where there's a few different tactics you can try, and some people try and hold their breath to pretty much make themselves pass out. But I wouldn't recommend that to start off with. I started just holding it for a minute, which that is quite good. But work yourself up to it. So that's another thing we did. Also, we did a 10 a.m. meeting every day.
Yeah, that was really good. It was like, I guess, because when you have a job and stuff, it's kind of good because at least like when I was working before, like I had like kind of place to be and stuff to like just, I'd have to force myself to like, well, I'd have to be there every day, otherwise I'd get fired and that would suck. But I think like that, and although Mix never fired me from that, that was like really good, like to kind of keep myself like, just keeping like the routine and like playing the routine and stuff like that, and I guess treating it as like a bit of a meet.
It was, routine. And we was kind of a bit of a joke at the start, and I was like, be there for our 10 a.m. meeting. But then we showed up every day and we had a list of what we wanted to achieve, and like I think the whole point of the 10 a.m. meeting, I mean, it's great, like you could have one with yourself. We're so lucky that we had each other because we were each other's accountability buddies. Even if you have a friend that you can message every day and be like, hey, have you trained? Or, hey, have you written this story that you wanted to do? Or whatever. Have someone to kick your ass. Like, they can kick your ass, you can kick and it's just so good to have that. And, you know, then throughout the day, I'd be like, cool, Will, I know that you wanted to clean your room at 3 p.m. Did you do it? No. Okay, cool. It's 3:30. Go clean your room. Like, you have someone.
No, definitely. And I was going to add to that, too, before we kind of had all that stuff. I think it was, like, a couple of weeks beforehand. It might have been just before lockdown, actually. I was doing lots of bike riding, and I would message my buddy. I think this was before I got up early, so I would never, because I kind of stopped going to the gym because I wouldn't get up early enough. Anyway, I started like kind of doing workout or bike riding in the afternoon, and I would like time myself to try and like get around this thing. I got like quite quick, and then lockdown happened and it all went. But anyway, we got back up again.
Yes,
but exactly. Like that was really like back to the accountability stuff. That's really good too, and like just having fitness goals, I think.
Is very good. And it doesn't, like I was saying before about the weight loss. Don't make it like I've got to lose a kilo by the end of ISO. Make it like I want to lift 10 kilos heavier, or I want to deadlift 100.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, you know, something that's you can achieve and be like, I just ran 5K and I used to not be able to even get off the couch. Like, that's super cool. So I think that, having goals, having accountability buddies. So our, I guess, tips for staying motivated, motivation in isolation. We have 1, goals, being specific.
Yeah.
2, gym, walks, be active. So just get active every day.
And start slow. That'll be another one.
That's 3. Yep. Start off slow. So don't, Rome wasn't built in a day. Start off with one little thing. For breathing and meditation, even if it's not your thing, just have a look into it. Have a look. I think Spotify even has some. You could have a look on YouTube.
Stuff.
They have some really good stuff.
We can link some stuff in the description.
Yeah, we'll do a link in the description. And 10, have an accountability buddy or at least a 10 a.m. meeting or check in with yourself in the morning. What are you going to do? How are you going to spend the next 24 hours?
Even set a reminder on your phone or something.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that I also came to terms with, like Wilsey went through his little thing, and my job is to motivate people and stuff like that, and it's a huge thing that some days you're just going to wake up and feel shit. Like there's no, I'll wake up and I'm like, I'm not feeling fantastic, whatever. I'll journal. I still feel like shit. I'm going to meditate. I still feel like shit. I'm going to try exercising. My workout was crap. I don't really want to be here. And you will get to that stage about 12 o'clock where you're like, I feel like crap. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like that's so okay. And all you do is just sit there, realize that you feel shit, realize that this is just how that's going to be today for the next 24 hours, embrace it, eat a piece of chocolate cake, do something you love, listen to some good songs, and wake up the next day and try and smash it then. Yeah, just being kind to yourself right now is super, super important. And just, feeling your feelings and being okay with feeling your feelings.
Because I think that's the worst thing is when you're you're not feeling your feelings, and then I think it makes it harder to go and like push yourself to go and force yourself to go to do that thing. So you're like, oh no, what am I saying? My life's not that bad. I'm just gonna go and do it. I feel like that's worse long term too, because you kind of get yourself into more of a rut.
Yeah, you push the feelings down, and then
Bad idea. Let it out.
Thanks for tuning in. See you next month on the BS Podcast. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is our pilot episode. So next month we're going to talk about introverts. We are both proud and out introverts, and we're going to talk about how cool that is.
Yeah, we don't hate people. We just like our own time.
We just like ourselves better. Alright. Thank you guys. We'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.
That's good.